everyone, welcome to the Movie Session Show. My name is Fariva, and tonight we're about to jump into, I believe, Agatha All Along episode 6. I believe it's episode 6. If not, we'll probably put the right title on this video. But yeah, we're about halfway through the series now. We got that big reveal from last week that, as all we had expected, Joe Locke was playing none other than a version of Recon, and there's a reason why I'm saying that, but a version of Recon, but clearly Billy, right? So huge reveal right there. And I have to say, I really want to say thank you to everyone who actually watched that reaction video. It basically blew up for me, at least in the scale of my channel. Definitely one of my most viewed videos when it comes to these reactions. And I read your comments. I mean, thank you so much for everyone who really did subscribe, left those comments, even opening up a discussion in the comment section. So thank you. I mean, again, I love doing this. I love it when I get to do this while watching Marvel, because Marvel makes me really excited. Although, yes, I've mentioned before, it's been a bit of a bump in the road with Marvel, but even then, I'm glad to be here. I love to do these reaction videos. It makes me feel like great about myself as well, just watching this and having kind of like my pure reaction to them. As I said, I always try to do this knowing the fact that, you know, this is very genuine. So thank you again for all of you guys who've been supporting this channel and those who just joined and subscribed recently. I hope you're in for a ride. I know I haven't put up Penguin episode 4 yet. It will be up. I will get to it. Just give me a day or so. It's been a long week. I've been having different shifts, so that's why I haven't been able to get everything up ASAP. So but thank you so much. I can't even say anything more than just how speechless I am just with the reaction I got from last week's episode. So let's see how this goes moving forward. And yeah, I mean, we're already halfway through the series. We got the big reveal. It's very early. So I know a lot of people have been theorizing that maybe this is not the version of Wiccan. Maybe this is a multiverse Wiccan, because technically speaking, the Wiccan that we know, the Billy that we know, the twins that we know, that Wanda had in this dimension, they're not real. They were just projections of, you know, of Wanda's mind that she created back when she was in Westview. So how is it that somehow this version of Wiccan / Billy is somehow alive and is able to manifest these powers that his mom has, right? So lots of theories going on, whether it be the multiverse theory or the fact that he could be, you know, a different Wiccan. Maybe he is just a body where Wiccan was able to get his mind, or maybe it does have something to do with the Darkhold, that maybe once Wanda did die, that maybe something as an effect happened. Who knows, right? So hopefully we'll get some answers with that, because I feel like there's just a lot of big questions, a lot of big loopholes now that we're like, okay, how are you going to address this moving forward? Because that's going to be the big question now. And does it also mean that we're going to see Elizabeth Olsen? So yeah, I'm just hoping that, you know, moving forward, the last episodes, because I can't remember if this is episode 6 or not, but the last few episodes, hopefully I'm going to cross my fingers, maintain some momentum. I know last week I mentioned that it was a little bit too fast and it was a little bit short, so it wasn't like the most fulfilling episode, but I'm hoping that it will pick up from here moving forward, that will at least end off on a very satisfying note. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into episode 6 of Agatha All Along. Billy's Jewish? Oh wait, Magneto's Jewish, yeah. I totally forgot that. That's his mom?
Curious.
That
Are we
explains a
looking
lot.
behind us or ahead?
Ahead.
Personal growth and important life changes. You're becoming a man.
She's lying. She is lying,
I
clearly.
wouldn't worry to be a psychic, to see that you're a good egg. Enjoy the now, baby. It's the only thing that's certain.
Is that what it was? Is that the enchantment? Is that the spell? Is that what?
Oh, sorry.
In Westview, everybody needs to go home as quickly, as safely as possible.
Anomaly.
What's going on?
I hear one division.
Be home soon.
Oh no, why do I sense something bad is happening? Oh my god, that's Westview, guys.
Is it going
From
away?
one. I sense something bad is happening.
Yeah, William. William. William.
Is he okay?
Oh god.
What? William, can you hear me, baby? Call 911.
Tommy!
Tommy? What's going on?
Are you okay?
Is he breathing?
Yes, he is now.
Okay.
Thank God.
Don't move
Whoa.
him. There's an ambulance on the way.
Hey, buddy, can you tell me your name?
What? Well, hold up.
Do you remember what happened? Everything's okay. We're here with you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Greg! Greg! God, it's William.
Smell from the hospital or something.
Something is off, clearly.
I'm William Kaplan. I am William Kaplan. I died that night. And when I came back, I was different. Something else. Something more. I'm not William Kaplan. At least,
William Kaplan. Who are you?
so I... Exactly.
I thought that turned out to be some Avengers training exercise gone wrong.
Avengers training exercise? Is that how they've been doing that? Is that how they've been trying to cover it up?
People who were there refused to talk about it. But I did find this guy on Reddit. He used to live there. I'm supposed to meet him tomorrow.
I'm
Boy,
adorably trusting.
you're not supposed to be talking to strangers.
That's my point.
Who is it? Don't tell me he's Raph Boner. Don't tell me he's Raph
The
Boner.
guy in the trench coat hiding in the shadows.
Don't tell me he's
He
Raph
doesn't want to get
Boner.
murdered.
Are you craft crazy 17?
You must be Bonerific 69.
It's Raph Boner! It's Raph Boner!
Randall. Call me Randall.
Thanks for coming. No one else would meet with me.
Ah! Fake Quicksilver!
For what?
Weird, sad sitcom plot.
Wanda Maximoff.
You want to hear this or not, Bob? You couldn't move, talk, or do anything. No?
Please don't ask about Agatha Harkness. Please don't ask about Agatha Harkness. Please don't ask.
What do you know about Agatha Harkness?
Come on, man!
Who plays Agatha Harkness?
She's an ancient freaking witch who will F your shit up, alright? I didn't just suffer like the rest of the yahoos in Westview. She stole my house. Completely ruined the market value. And she made me do these horrible things.
I feel that.
I had this really nice lady hostage in my attic. And I poisoned a dog.
Woof.
Hey!
Wait, Wanda and Vision have kids?
Had. Past tense. Twins.
Or their names?
Billy. And Tommy.
Tommy.
The little speedster. And his mind-reading brother. They just disappeared. But you want to know what I think? I think they got sucked up into that red bubble thing like everything else wanted to make. After that, I cut and run. Left my entire Blu-ray collection behind. Agatha can keep my Bowflex. I'm never going back.
The song that they're playing. She goes way, way back, huh?
I'll see you at the end.
He's looking for Tommy! That's why he's looking for Tommy!
Release spell. Requires an important personal item.
Oh, so he's the one who released her. Oh, then this is going back to episode 1.
Stop! I'm trying to help you. Police! Please don't call the police. I can't have a criminal record. Sorry. Hold your horses!
Boner family reunion?
What compelled you to break into the home of a decorated detective?
Detective.
Oh, I forgot. This is when she's in like a courtroom. Like, not a courtroom, but the interrogation room.
No, I don't. No, you do not. No, I do not. You know.
And then he's gonna do the release spell. Okay, yeah, I remember all this now. This is all the way from episode 1.
The Witch's Road.
What road?
Oh my god.
Let's find out. Tell me about that.
Oh, there's a Blu-ray DVDs.
Say again.
I'm Billy Maximoff.
Hey, there you go. Okay, so how did Agatha survive that? I want to know. But what about Jen? Was it Lillian? Oh, he's starting to sense like his mother. I'm seeing those hand movements. But how did she figure it out? Is my
When did you
question.
figure it out?
I had a feeling when we first met. Even with the sigil in the way, you and your mother have the same tell.
Legit.
For sure. Until to see you again. Billy. But you don't see it holding me back.
I'm not like you.
Where have I heard that before? Tell me. Come by this fresh body you're wearing.
That's a very good question, eh?
Okay, you don't want to tell me. That's fine. But opportunity, an empty vessel, and you moved in.
Okay,
so you broke
vessel,
the rules.
yes.
Big deal. That's what kept you alive.
But I don't need you anymore.
Oh.
I don't know if I ever did.
Oh. Oh.
You can't control without throwing a temper tantrum.
I'll figure it out.
What does Billy Maximoff want at the end of the road? Oh, right. There's two of you. You're after Toby.
Tommy.
That's what
Toby.
I said.
He's out there somewhere. Can't find him.
Gosh, you really are a Maximoff. Otherwise, none of this would be nearly as dramatic.
He's my
Oh.
If you really want to finish at all,
Probably the one
Ever.
good decision he's made. So that was episode 6 of Agatha All Along, and we're finally getting a lot of answers. I think that's something that a lot of us were trying to get out of this episode. It's like, okay, now we've got this reveal, we better get some answers. I think that this episode did really much satisfied in doing that, although there's still a lot of questions, but we got a lot of answers. So first off, let's just say I'm happy this was not a 30-minute episode. That this was a 50-minute episode, although when you take into account to, like, you know, the previews and not previews, the recap and the credits, it's gonna be like, what, about 42 minutes. So even still, 42 minutes, it's actually not bad. I think that's probably one of the longer that's actually going to be one of the more lengthier episodes I've actually seen. But I think it really works in what we see here because it's giving us answers, letting us know Billy, or what kind of Billy that we're dealing with, why he's here, knowing the fact that we have that knowledge of, well, these can't seriously be Wanda's kids, so how are they, or at least him, how is he still around, right? So glad that we kind of go back a little bit, like they actually do have to go back to like 2021 with WandaVision, going back to that as the original point where everything started. So we do realize, I guess it can be implied now that the Billy that we're seeing here is not the Billy from before. It seems as though that he may have possessed a kid named William Kaplan, and it looks as though that the William Kaplan had died in an accident, or at least some version of him died in an accident, and somehow Billy must have projected himself into that body and now has hold of that body. As to how he's able to do that, very unclear. I think that's the big question, is like, how does that even work? Because especially since, again, there's still the big question of her kids never existed. Wanda's kids never existed. They were just projection in her mind. So how is it that he's still somehow able to manifest himself into William Kaplan and now become Billy Maximoff, right? So there's still that big question. That's still the big question. Although we do get a little bit of the answers of, okay, we have this idea that this is at least him somehow now able to control or take control of that body in some sort of spell, some sort of ritual, some sort of effect must have happened. It could be because of the Darkhold. Who knows? I think the Darkhold is probably the key to this, or something else. Who knows, right? So, but even if it was the Darkhold, right? The Darkhold has been destroyed. So lots of big questions right there, lots of loopholes too. So there's still a little bit of uncertainty about that big question. Having said that, we still got some answers, right? So we now know the sigil is now broken, although it doesn't seem as though that was necessarily Wanda who placed that sigil. It does seem as though that was actually Lillian, because he had that, you know, that block thingy, and I don't think they've really ever answered that. So my assumption is that must have been the sigil that was protecting him from other witches that whole time, and I guess Lillian just never remembered giving it to him. So and plus, like the William that we're seeing, like the Billy that we're seeing here, like the William version saw that the actual, you know, fortune teller, but Lillian, but not the Billy version. He would never known how he got in possession of that block. So I'm assuming that's the sigil. I mean, that's what probably protected him this whole time, because of Lillian, not really Wanda. So I think that's the only explanation to that, because even then, I don't think Wanda would have placed that spell on him, because again, Wanda's kids do not exist. So I cannot emphasize that enough. So there's that. I think that clears up one mystery right there. The next mystery would be, of course, why is Billy going on this road, right? I kept saying that it must have been Wanda that he's looking for. I was on the right track. It doesn't mean so that he was looking for someone. The person that he was looking for, I got that wrong, clearly. Because I was like, oh, he must be looking for his mom, Wanda, because I have such high hopes that somehow maybe Elizabeth Olsen will come back as Wanda Maximoff. But no, I was too optimistic, but I was in the right track. I was in the right track that he was looking for something. There's a reason why he's on this road. So I was on the right track of where I was in that theory about Billy, but I was totally off on who he was looking for. Now it's clear that he's looking for Tommy. which makes a lot of sense because he loves Tommy. And I think if we recall from WandaVision how much he really loved his brother, right? And I can't even help but say the fact that we actually got to see Evan Peters come back as Ralph Boner. I was like, oh my god, please don't tell me the guy that they're about to look for is Ralph Boner. And I'm like, oh my god, it's Ralph Boner. That means it's Evan Peters. I'm like, oh my god, he's back. Because he's technically fake Quicksilver, even though we know that in a different dimension he would have been the real Quicksilver, but here he's a fake one. And even then he's still talking to the guy who played like a fake version of Quicksilver who happens to have the same power as Tommy. Great, right? It's totally great. But just to see him come back, I would have never imagined that he was going to come back. I felt like it was just a one and done thing in WandaVision, and here we are. We get to see him back as Ralph Boner. I can't imagine a lot of people are still like, I can't even imagine how people are going to be reacting to that. Just like, oh my god, like I can't remember he's back. Like that brought in so much terror and nightmare because of the fact that everyone was so excited about Quicksilver, only to see that it was just a fluke. So, but yeah, he came back. That was great to see. But that also explains a lot about how this Billy got a little bit more information about what's going on, what happened in Westview, what happened with the Hex and WandaVision and everything that has happened. And then that, of course, circles back to here. And of course, we got a little bit of like Billy's perspective of what happened in the first episode, because we saw that Agatha was still under the spell, so she's still thinking that she's a detective. But we now see how Billy perceived it, like giving his perspective, like, oh, this is what really happened, this is how I saw it. Oh, that now it mirrors a little bit. I can imagine someone's probably gonna do like a side-by-side thing. Someone's gonna do it. So but now we got a lot more questions about that. He's the one who released Agatha, so even though that's a big thing. So it's like, even though that Wanda presumably died, right, she still wasn't exactly released. It wasn't released until Billy released her. So then there is, again, that big question, like, well, now is Wanda actually dead or not? Because if she wasn't even released when Wanda died, and it required a releasing spell to get her out of her, her delusional mind, then why is she, not delusional, sorry, hallucinated mind, why is it that somehow she still wasn't out of that spell? So again, it's, I'm trying to keep my hopes up about Wanda being still alive, okay? Because I love Wanda Maximoff a lot. I love Scarlet Witch, so yeah. So again, a lot of big questions. I feel like a lot of loopholes have now been closed, but then at the same time, the biggest loophole is, how is Billy here, right? How is he here? How was he able to somehow take possession of William Kaplan? It does seem as though that William himself had died, but it's really Billy now who takes possession of that body, which explains a lot, right? That explains a lot of why he's feeling very different, why he doesn't have any memories from before the accident, why he somehow is able to read minds. So again, there's a lot of unclear questions about this one particular part. But again, I'm happy that we got some answers. I think this episode would not have been effective and not for the fact that we didn't get any answers, right? If we didn't get any answers, this episode would have just been useless. It would have been just like, whatever. And we even get back to the present day, right? Where eventually he and Agatha confront each other and start to realize that, okay, well, now this is what happens. Now I know for sure that you are Billy. Now we know how Agatha figured out that he was Billy, although it's kind of like a little bit of laziness, because like, if she knew for a while, I was like, okay. But then again, we all knew for a while, so I don't blame Agatha for that. So if we knew, she probably would have known. So yeah. But then of course she probably had to wait until, actual Rio Vidal had actually said that, oh, he's not your son. I think that probably was what really kind of solidified that, oh, if this is not Nicholas, then that's definitely Billy. You only had two choices. So yeah, so I think that this was probably the most effective episode. I have to say this was actually really good. For what it was, consider the fact that we are just focusing on Billy and his perspective. We don't get to see a lot of Agatha, not until the last half of this episode, and I think it still does a really good job. I think this is probably maybe one of the most satisfying, no, I wouldn't say satisfying, but one of the few good episodes I've seen, that's focused on a particular character, giving us a little bit more of the background and focusing on that in just one particular episode in just 40 minutes. I think it's actually been very effective. Like, I was very invested in this episode. I was like, okay, I want to know who this Billy is, why he's here. We got some answers. We didn't get a lot of other answers, but we still got, a lot of mystery going on, which is really funny because we just had the Penguin and we had like a whole similar situation with Sophia Black-Cohen and how she became central in her own episode, even though the show's about the Penguin, and now we got the same thing here. So it's like, okay, I'm seeing a little bit of parallelism here. So, but yeah, I think this was a very good episode for what it was serving. I think we got a lot more and an idea what's going on. Although, again, I it really sucks if it's true that Jan and Lillian are dead. It's like okay, that kind of feels a little bit more wasteful. But I hope that maybe something might change. But if it does end up being that this is gonna simply be a road that's now gonna be walked by just Billy and Agatha, I mean, there's not much we can really do, right? So, and also, I don't know what's going on with Real Vidal. She's still in there. So that's another big question. Although I will say, even though I kept saying she might have been Morgan Le Fay, I do think that there might actually be a very good argument that she actually might be Lady Death. So if that's the case, it makes a lot more sense now. We still haven't seen her since last episode. So where the heck is she? Like, she's still dealing with Alice. Maybe she might be going after Jen and Lillian. Who knows? But yeah, I think this is very good progress. I think right now, this show is in a right place. Although, what is it? We're right now on episode 6. So we have 7, 8, 9. So we have 3 more episodes left. So that should be enough time to basically start getting into the conclusion of the series, getting to the climax of it, and trying to find something that will resolve it without being, unsatisfactory, right? So I'm hoping that I'm crossing my fingers that it keeps up with that momentum. I think, again, this was a very good episode for what it was trying to serve, and I think that it does add value to what was going on in the main storyline. Because a lot of times when I see these series, like, sometimes they can be fillers, but this one did not feel like a filler because it actually served a purpose. It gave us a lot more answers, especially in a very good time. So, and then, again, a lot of us were like, wow, they already revealed about Billy. That seems really early, right? So there must be a reason why, and now we're unveiling a lot of that. So I think this speaks for the fact that Agatha all along has so far been very good in telling its story, especially for the fact that we actually have a real showrunner, and it's coming from the person who actually worked in WandaVision as well. So it makes a lot more sense. Like, the story is very consistent, or at least it's trying to be consistent. Although, again, there's some loopholes that still need to be addressed. But I think it's a very good episode. Like, there was not a moment where I was like getting really bored or anything like that. So that's a good thing. And I'm hoping, again, I'm like crossing my fingers that if this is what we got with this episode, we're already in episode 6 and we still have 7, 8, 9 left, right? I am hoping that this series sticks to it, because I've had shows in the past with Marvel and Star Wars where it's like things start off in a very good beginning, muddles in the middle, and sometimes falters at the end. So I'm just crossing my fingers that it does end in a very good note. So that's all to say about episode 6 of Agatha All Along. Let me know your thoughts now, getting a little bit more context about Billy Maximoff here. Is that what you envisioned, that, the reason why we got to see Billy here? Is that what your theories were? Are your theories, are you starting to get your theories right? Or are there some things that you're still kind of unsure about? There is a little bit more of the loophole with Billy and how he still managed to get possession of William Kaplan's body. Like, there must be something. Do you have some theories about that? Maybe there's just not a full picture about that. What are your thoughts about seeing a little bit more of Billy's perspective and what's going on with him, understanding what his motives are, and what this means for Agatha and Billy going into kind of their final sessions of the Witch's Road? Like, what is there left? Is Jan and Lillian actually very much dead, or are they actually alive? Do you think that there is a chance that they could be alive? Where the heck is Rio Vidal? She's nowhere to be found. And what lies next for these characters? We only have 3 episodes left, so does that mean that we will see Tommy? Does that mean that we're gonna see Wanda? Who knows, right? Let me know your thoughts below, and make sure to like and subscribe.